Welcome to the first episode of a series I call Game Tales. So the story today is about the peculiar beginnings of Let's Sing 2016. And you might be wondering why I graded a game that generally ends its life in the free bin. And that's because the story of the origins of this game in particular are pretty strange. So this game, when it did get created or manufactured, was available in just the game in the case, like this one. And it was also available with the exact same game, cellophane and all, bundled with the microphone. So you could buy the microphone separately in the case of this one, or buy it bundled with the microphone in the case of this one. So the reason we're talking about this is because in 2015, this game was announced, and the Wii, coming out in 2007, was already 8 years old, and this game was announced for release in 2016. And people were pre-ordering it because they thought it was going to be an uncommon game. They thought nobody would buy it. The Wii was at end of life, and full set collectors would need it, and people that collected uncommon games would also want it. So people pre-ordered it, and I remember this unfolding at the time that I watched it. And many people got ridiculed for pre-ordering it, for essentially paying full price for a game that, like I said, would probably end up in the free bin in not too much time. So what happened was, as those pre-orders were getting nearer to getting released, one day there was a release at Best Buy in Canada. There was a posting at the stores of a piece of paper showing that the disc was causing problems with the laser and playing inside the system and the console itself, and that the disc would not actually play properly, and that it was being recalled, and there was no clear sign that it would ever get re-released after the recall. So the people that did pre-order the game actually had the last laugh, because the game would end up becoming pretty uncommon. Now, at this point, when the recall happened, nobody really knew if the game would get recalled, if it would get recalled in every area of the world or North America, or what the deal was. So what actually happened was that the recall, I guess it happened just after the orders got shipped out. So nobody was really sure if they were going to get their pre-orders until they actually started getting delivered. And people did start receiving their games even after this recall was sent out. And to my knowledge, I don't actually know of any of these games that hit stores and were available on shelves. But from what I hear in various parts of North America, people say that there were a couple of days up to about 2 weeks that the game was available on shelves, but I haven't been able to confirm that. So as far as I know, this game never actually got a retail release. So you might be wondering how I have a copy, but we'll get into that. So the notice went up that it was not playing correctly in the systems, and this didn't seem quite right. It seemed like something was wrong here, because software itself won't play havoc on hardware as long as the disc is the same weight and size. Then it will generally play in any system. So something didn't seem quite right to me. So I decided to take a look into this, research this, find out what the actual reason was. And I was actually trying to find a copy myself, because I go after uncommon games, and this one was going to be uncommon. So I wanted to find out what the reason was and actually find a copy to buy. So I went on Amazon to see if there were any copies available on there. And browsing through Amazon, I saw that there was actually a review for the game. To my surprise, I don't know how this person got a copy of the game, how they got it so early, but there was a review on there. And what made me even more surprised was that it was a review by somebody that seemed to have no idea about the rarity or the obscurity of this game. They just left a review about it. And the weird part about the review was that they were complaining about nudity that was in the game. And this being obviously a Nintendo game, being on the Wii, this was very surprising to me. So the review specified that there was full upper body nudity in the game, and that there were even nipples showing in the game. And at first I didn't pay too much attention to it, because I know there are various parts of the world where it is an offense, and in some cases a criminal offense, for men to be topless. And so I thought, I didn't know where this review originated. I thought maybe it was outside North America. I didn't really know which country it was from. But I kind of got the idea of, I didn't know if this was male nudity or female nudity, but something wasn't quite adding up here. The game got recalled because the console wasn't playing it correctly. There was a review left on Amazon by somebody that seemed to have no idea about the obscurity. The review talked about nudity. Something just wasn't right here. So what actually ended up happening is I've never actually played this game, because the copies I have are sealed. And I've never been able to find an open copy, as much as I've looked to try and verify this. But it seems that what actually happened, is reported, is that there is a video in this game. So the way you play this game is the music video will play, and with the included microphone, or the microphone that you buy separately, you sing along to the music video with the artist that originally sings the song. So there's a song on this, All of Me by John Legend. And in that video, I thought, okay, maybe John Legend is topless in this video and this family got offended, which that happens. But what actually seemed to happen is that John Legend shot 2 different versions of this music video. And there's a version, well, in both versions, they're both the same video, but in one version is more censored, and it's kind of shower scenes with him and his girlfriend, Chrissy Teigen. But it doesn't really show any sort of nudity in it. It's more like PG rated. But there is another version of the music video, apparently, where Chrissy Teigen herself, when they're in the shower, is fully topless, nude, nipples showing. And it seems to be that somehow, when Nintendo put this game together, they used the wrong music video. And yes, so from all the reports I'm seeing, there seems to be a music video on this game where you fire up All of Me by John Legend, and here is Chrissy Teigen, totally topless, totally nude, and I don't know how this happened, but it's an anomaly, and it's crazy to think that Nintendo actually had accidental nudity in their game. I've seen other reviews on Amazon since then that have been added below this review by people that seem to have just wanted to check out and see if this is true. I guess maybe they opened their copy or found a loose copy. But yeah, so they have confirmed that apparently this is the case, that apparently Nintendo did accidentally use the wrong music video. And if you play this game, if you can actually find a copy of it, specifically Wii, only Wii apparently, and only the version that has this girl in the purple shirt on the front, for Let's Sing 2016. And yeah, apparently in that version there's accidental nudity. So that's the story of Let's Sing 2016. Crazy story. As far as I know, it was never released in stores. I don't know why they didn't just swap the music video and do a re-release. But yeah, for how I got my copies, I did search around at the time. These copies were going for a few $100s at the time. It seemed, for whatever reason, there were people in Mexico that just had cases of these. I don't know if that's where they were manufactured and they just never got shipped out to stores. But I bought this off a guy for $100 from Mexico. And I got this one for, I don't know, I think it was $75 or so with the microphone. Prices went up and down. They were at $400 at one point, and I saw them on eBay for $25, so it varied. Anyway, that's the story of Let's Sing 2016, and this is the first episode of Game Tales.